Alright, let's get into the video. Alright, you read the title, 6 bands that never did it for me. Never got into. What is this title? As a disclaimer, there's no specific order. I'm just gonna be it's like, alright, coming out number 3, and number 2, and then number 1. And no, it's not gonna be like that. It's just gonna be just like me just listing just 6 bands that I've already written down in my reasoning. I've seen multiple people doing these type of videos, and I think it's about time I should do one, but this one is for me. And there will be more videos like this, so without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So the first band that obviously just never did it for me, Exodus. Honestly, I feel like most of their albums just sound like I'm listening to the same riff over and over and over again. And don't get me wrong, I'm not huge on thrash metal. And don't get me wrong, I like thrash, but with these characteristics, like those almost like, you know, like the vocal performance like that. Like, it can be like very, very, very annoying, and also be like very, very irritating. And don't get me wrong, I respect the vocalist for Exodus. I mean, I remember listening to Bonded in Blood for the first time. I think it was like back in COVID, where like the world just opened up for me. And when I first heard Bonded in Blood, I was impressed. And then I jumped ahead about 5 or 7 years. And then I listened to Force of Habit, and after that I'm like, I don't know. And then I went back to their second album, and I'm like, no, I'm not into this. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there are some great thrash metal bands out there that I like. I don't really consider Metallica to be thrash, not heavy metal, just like metal, but without, just take out the heavy. And I know it's pretty common to hate Metallica, but I am a big fan of Metallica. Same thing with Slayer, but it's only just a few millimeters behind Metallica. Megadeth, there's some good albums, there's some bad albums. Anthrax is 50-50. And it was also around the same time where I was also getting into like way heavier thrash metal albums than Exodus. Like Violence, Death Angel, DRI, Coronor, Dark Angel. I was getting into like the much more heavier side of things. I respect people who like Exodus, but I mean, I'll take a few songs. They got some great pieces that I liked. I mean, Piranha is great, but everything after that, it just never did it for me. So yeah, I'm not really good at explaining things like in this sort of topics, so bear with me. So yeah, so the first band is Exodus. Number 2, needless to say, I don't really care about Mike Patton. I respect him, but I don't really care about his music. I do like Faith No More. I think Epic is a great song. I mean, I only know like one Faith No More song, but this other project that Mike Patton was in, I don't know. Mr. Bungle. Mr. Bungle just never did it for me either. I feel like when I heard like a snippet of their debut album, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And like those like weird saxophone noises that you hear in the songs. And I understand it's avant-garde metal, and also with jazz fusions here and there, but it just feels like it's like more off-putting. There are a couple bands that sound like this, but they're less goofy, because I feel like Mr. Bungle, like with their earlier albums, it's just a little bit too nerve-wracking, too kind of goofy, and just sounds like it was like if a cartoon band just tried to sound like metal, or like a clown. I don't know if Guar heard like Frank Zappa, and it was like, we can make a band, but like we'll just add like a little more of that cartoon edge sound to like our songs, like. But yeah, it just never did it for me. I have not listened to a single Mr. Bungle song ever. So yeah, so second band, Mr. Bungle. Number 3, next band, As I Lay Dying. Yeah. Reason being, Tim Lambesis. Tim Lambesis is an absolute psychopath. For those of you who do not know, he tried to assassinate and murder his wife by hiring a hitman. But the hitman was undercover and he got arrested. And by that I mean Tim Lambesis, that fucking douchebag, got arrested. Yeah, I like at first I didn't know what that story was about. When I discovered As I Lay Dying, they were a metalcore band, which that was cool. And the first song that I actually discovered from them was actually a cover of Slayer's War Ensemble. It's passable, and I kind of like the original version of War Ensemble just slightly more than this version. But honestly, this was like the only great song that I ever heard from As I Lay Dying. And after like a few years went by, I just didn't really fell hard for As I Lay Dying when I heard about the most evil musicians ever, and Tim Lambesis was one of them. And I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing, Tim? Fuck Tim Lambesis. Although I do respect War Ensemble, I think it's passable. Yeah, and with the things that Tim Lambesis has done and the controversies that he's been in, yeah, no, it just never did it for me. So number 3, As I Lay Dying. Number 4 is Falling in Reverse. Ronnie. I did like a whiny brat on social media almost every bloody day. It's just him whining about cancer culture, whining about how much he is just an absolute boss he is. You need to grow up. If you get canceled, you get canceled. Karma has already got to you, okay? When I first discovered them was actually one of my friends showed me, and this was in college by the way, he showed me a snippet of Watch the World Burn, which I was impressed. And after watching a video by Forge Masters Metal, shout out to them, and just hearing about the controversies that he was in, I just wasn't digging it. And after reading multiple articles, and spoiler alert, I read a bajillion articles about these type of bands. So if you're like typing in the comments,
oh, congratulations, you mispoint the goddamn video, like you like blah, 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 blah.
Shut the up. All right. You can have your own opinion. All right. This is just my opinion. I'm trying to explain it from heart. If you don't want to watch this video, then you can fuck off out the door and unsubscribe and dislike this video. That will be amazing, and that will make my life 1,000 times better. No, I mean, we don't need another Slim Shady. Okay, we already have Eminem, and I mean, Watch the World Burn is okay, and but everything after that is just him just whining about cancel culture, whining about people who hating him, whining about whatever. Like, this modern society is just, ugh. Grow up, Ronnie. Grow up. This next band is going to piss everyone off. Sleep Token. Overrated as fuck. Annoying fan base. Imagine Dragons ripoff. Take Me Back to Eden. I have not listened to at all. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to review it. Fuck Sleep Token. Fuck that album. Fuck their fan base. If someone give me like a Sleep Token CD, I'll swipe it, open up the CD, break it, and chuck it behind me. Fuck. Ugh. Oh my god. Like, their music is just trying to sound like Imagine Dragons, but more metal. Ugh. Like, fuck, man. Yeah. Overrated. Annoying. Imagine Dragons ripoff. They're just trying to be like the more mainstream. And yeah. No. Final band, the most infamous. Everyone knows it's without a doubt the worst death metal band. 6 Feet Under. The reason being, everybody knows. Chris Barnes. I mean, he really set the tone like with the earlier albums of Cannibal Corpse, which those are great albums. But when he got to 6 Feet Under, when I heard Haunted, it's passable. It's listenable, I will say that. But as time goes on, his vocals are just so dried up. Like, what on earth happened? I have not checked out their newer stuff at all. And I have no plans on listening to those albums. It's just, what the fuck happened to Chris Barnes? And yeah, he also likes to talk shit. I mean, he likes to smoke weed. He has a weed addiction of some sort. I mean, the music's there, kind of. But Nightmares of the Decomposed is without a doubt the worst death metal album and the worst metal album ever. The vocals just ruin everything for the whole album, even for the listener, and they'll just stop like the album and be like, nah, I'm not into this, and they'll move on to other death metal bands than this shit. Deicide, Morbid Angel, Obituary, Death, Monstrosity, whatever. There's 1,000 bands. There's so many I cannot count. Yeah, 6 Feet Under. Chris Barnes just likes to talk shit, acting like you're like a drunk uncle at a family Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, and the vocals, especially with that. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Let me know what are your own thoughts, or in the comments. I don't care if you guys are gonna be commenting.
Congratulations, you misunderstood the point.
I did my research, okay? So why don't you do your research and leave me the fuck alone and stop pushing my buttons? Yeah, also let me know what your own lists are down in the comments. I would like to make more videos than this because there's more bands I cannot stand. But for now, let's just leave it at there. And I'm done talking. See ya.